Good day, guys. It's Ricky here, and we are on the Rich Reality Show. I have an interview here that most of you guys are probably not expecting. I'm sitting across a gentleman who says, let me put it like that, who says he is Apostle Mokoena's son. And there's been a lot of conversations on social media concerning his mother and his father. Concerning their church and their doctrines and all kinds of things that have been happening there. There's been lawsuits now that have been filed, summons and all those things. But this thing, when it started, I was like, this is a very hectic family issue. And you guys will remember, I mentioned that someone had said, hey, Ricky, can I get you in contact with Apostle? And I said, yeah, most definitely. My differences with Apostle is doctrinal. He does deserve a response. And so I was going to offer those. But then as time went on, I had my own things that I was kind of like hustling through. And I never actually got to some of the things that the church had given me to respond to. And so it's like God came through and had someone come and say, I'm going to set the record straight. Leadership.
So how are you doing?
Who am I speaking to?
All right, man. Firstly, let me say hi to your guests. Let me greet everyone. And thank you so much for having me on your channel. It's an honor. Yeah. I've watched you quite extensively. Your work, and it's quite a privilege to be here. Yeah. My name is Mokoena. I am born and bred in Kwakwa. Yeah, many moons ago.
In many mountains.
Many mountains ago, man.
I've been there once.
Yeah, it's a beautiful place. Beautiful place. So yes, I'm from there. And I grew up, under the beautiful parenting of Apostle Mokoena. I don't like to say his name out of respect, but just for this instance, I'll just say Apostle Simon Mokoena, because that's the brand. And also under the beautiful mentorship of my beautiful mother, Sibongile Mokoena. And I have a beautiful sister right now, and and also a younger brother. Yes.
And this message came when your message came.
Yeah.
I had a lot in my head. I was like, like just all over the place. And I see a message, boom, it's Tepo. I'm like, okay, this person must think I know them.
Yeah, for sure.
Because for them to introduce themselves in this manner. So I opened the message because of that.
Yeah, the voice note, yeah.
And so when I listened, and I know, I'm like, I know, I don't trust. People nowadays can claim those type of things and stuff like that. And so I'm like, okay, so before I spoke to you, I went to speak to the other guys. Like, oh, hey guys, have you heard from Apostle? What's happening? And they're like, no, he hasn't said anything. And have you? Maybe we thought you were dealing with some things. So
sure.
We know how you do your content.
Sure.
So they didn't give me an update. So I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
So Apostle didn't send you.
No. No, he did not. I'll be very frank with you. I'll be very honest with you. He did not. I think him even seeing this will take him by surprise.
Yeah.
This was something that I felt that I need to do. With everything that's been said and everything that, it's been quite a lot.
It's been a lot.
The last few months, I must tell you, have been so hectic, just what just happened type of situation. Like every day I wake up with oh my goodness, with that at the back of my mind, like what actually just happened. Yeah. So no. To say that he sent me, honestly, would be a lie.
And even if he knew, it would have been way after from the time.
Yes.
I'm just establishing the time frame from the time when you contacted me.
Yes. To
the time when you actually were like, okay, now we're gonna do the interview. It was like he had absolutely no idea about things.
As a matter of fact, he's not the type of person who will pressure you to do something like this. It's something that I felt that I need to do. just to set the record straight. I think it's very important.
All right. So this particular interview or this particular discussion, I want to also set it clear here. We didn't sit down and then concoct how we're going to talk, what we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
It's just basically going to be a conversation. So walk with us here. You've had enough time to listen to the long discussions which were done on Khosheletsani. So now here's a family member. Nalo ena Artseni Felo, we were not there. I'm just a host. I have a platform. When I respond, come through. And so let's do this justice by allowing them to talk.
Sure.
Allow Brother Tsepo to talk. Because at the end of the day, I think we tend to get involved and forget that there is people's relationships here.
Yeah. True.
You coming here might offset your relationship with your mom, and I hope it doesn't do that. Yeah. And it puts odds also because I had things on there. I couldn't watch all of the videos because I try to watch as I record.
Yeah.
So I couldn't watch all of them.
Yeah.
But we can tend to take sides because we believe one thing or because we believe the other thing. So as the audience, let's be careful concerning that.
And also, I think with to be honest, this is already very controversial what I'm about to say.
Yeah.
Because it really looks like I'm trying to deviate. But like with gender-based violence and stuff like that, sometimes men don't have a voice.
Yeah.
So it's very easy to already, as soon as a lady or a female figure comes and starts saying something, already we take sides because of what we watch on media and stuff like that. So
I totally get you.
Yeah.
So before we go to those conversations or to those particular areas of our conversation, I wanted to ask you, on the lighter note, where did you guys grow up? Where did you the family?
Yeah.
You said you have a sister.
Yes.
Where did you guys?
And a little brother
Where
as
were
well.
you?
So yes, I grew up. My first remembering of life was in Kwakwa, in the early 90s, Shoba 91, 92. So I'm just giving away my age here. But
don't count.
Yeah. So I grew up around Kwakwa, back in the day, and then my dad, as he progressed with his ministry, we then moved to Harrismith around early 96, 95. And then we officially then moved to Bethlehem. That's where I could say my family home is. That's where I grew up. That's where I taught myself life. So I grew up in the Free State most of my life. Even went to school in the Free State. I went to a very good school, that my father... if there's one thing my dad always wanted for his children, was a good school, a good education. But I started off in Winterton in my early primary school years, in Durban, in Natal, not Durban per se, but Natal, Midland areas, in Winterton, and then moved over to Bloemfontein in a school called Grey College, which is one of the most prestigious schools right now in the country. That
I have no idea.
Yeah, no, there's all the Springbok players that you watch winning the World Cup.
Yeah.
I literally grew up with those guys.
Wow.
So I watched them winning World Cups. Now I'm like, I used to shower with this guy. We used to shower together. We used to sleep in
this guy.
I tackled this guy, type of situation. So, and then, that's it, man. And then I grew up in the Free State. I was a very good soccer player. The issue I had was weight. But I was good. I was like Sheiks Kungwane.
I was going the route of rugby.
Yeah. I mean, rugby was, the dominant sports in the school, which it still is now. The school is still producing great Springbok players. But I was into sports, and then when I got to high school, I decided to leave sport and focus more on my music, because the music department was also very, very, very good.
Yeah, you get it from your dad.
Exactly. So
bloodline.
Yeah, I tried to play rugby, and I remember him saying, something like, "Why would you want to risk yourself like that and get a permanent injury for life, and yet you're not going to pursue this thing?"
Yeah,
because it was quite hectic, So that's when I decided, okay, let me stop the rugby and whatever, let me focus more on the music, because that's what I wanted to do.
And then later years, where did you? By the time, by the way, when you went to that particular school, was it a boarding school or was it?
Yes, so it was a boarding school. My grade 8 year was a boarding school, so I've been always living in boarding school since very early. You know, obviously this was not rejection from my parents. It was just pursuit of saying we want our son to get the best education.
Yeah.
So both of them obviously came to an agreement that okay, let's allow him to go to boarding school. So
it does build a good independence as well.
It definitely does build a lot of independence. You know, you learn to stand on your own 2 feet, and yeah.
And your later years, like secondary, going up.
Yeah, secondary. I was still in Grey College, and then I was in Bloemfontein, then moved to Joburg way later.
Yeah.
Around 2014.
Which did you prefer?
I loved Bloemfontein. So leaving Bloemfontein was very difficult. But I think Joburg grows on you.
Yeah.
You know,
it has a touch to
it is a touch to it, but it takes a long time, you know, to get the Bloemfontein out of you, you know. And when it did, I've been obsessed with Johannesburg since. Yeah.
And you're in the 90s, the period that you're talking about. When was your dad going to Bible college?
So when I was born, he was already done.
Okay.
When I was born, he was already a full-on pastor. He finished his, I'm guessing, he finished his qualification at Rhema in the 80s. Because I was born right on the brink of the 80s, like end of 80s, you know. I was born right there. So by the time I was born, everything was done and dusted, yeah. He was already a full-on pastor. Yeah.
And so for you now, the journey of faith, because your dad's journey of faith was already established, and your mom also is with them in the ministry.
Yeah.
When does your journey of faith? Because your parents taking you to church, this kind of feels like their thing.
Yeah.
But when does your journey of faith start?
I would say my journey of faith really started in the womb. You know, I can tell you that because you can imagine. Here's my dad preaching every Sunday, every Wednesday. My mom was pregnant with me, and I'm basically listening to all these preachings in the womb. You know what I'm trying to say? If that's really way, if you want to take it further. But I guess, I figured out my journey of faith when I was around 8 years old. I kind of found, I had an encounter at that very early age.
Okay.
And I was with my mom and my dad in Durban for holiday with my sister. And I remember just one day just wanting to be born again and wanting to experience my own, way of expressing my religion or my beliefs, if I may say that. But I think when Tirano started, that's when I was around 10. I was 10 years old.
Okay.
And that's what I basically know. I know Tirano. Yes, I know the church before Tirano started, but I was still very young. But my memory of faith and religion was when Tirano started.
Okay, so this experience which you had of wanting this, you're like, okay, I kind of want this.
Yeah.
This is before Tirano.
This is way before Tirano, actually. I was 8 years old. I think when Tirano started was in the year 2000. I was about 10 years old.
Okay.
So this is 98, 97.
Yeah.
When I had this aha moment. And I remember I was actually at a beach in Durban. And I was taking a walk with my mother for some reason that morning. And I just started crying and just saying, Ma, I love God. I don't know what I'm feeling. I don't know what this is. And then she sat me down and then she kind of led me through a prayer, salvation prayer. And that's when I would say I experienced God for the first time for myself, just an encounter where I just felt this overwhelming love.
That's deeper. Your mom led you.
You understand? Yeah, so she's the one who led me to and said, okay, sit down. I remember we're sitting at a bench, But it's funny because she doesn't remember it, but I remember it clear as night.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, and then she sat me down, and then we prayed, and then that's when my encounter started. But my spiritual journey, I would say, then started with Terano, because this is 2 years later. I had this encounter 2 years ago, but now here's this journey that I'm walking, and here's how I'm experiencing God, and how I'm experiencing religion is through Terano.
What's the separation do you think is there when you say your spiritual journey from the time when you were born again? What would you say is the thing that distinguishes the two?
I think the thing that distinguishes it is how things are done.
Okay.
You know, because I mean, I grew up when my dad was. I promise you, there was never a church in the Free State like my dad's first church. He's always been that type of leader who's way ahead of his time. Literally, I'm telling you, like way ahead of his time. I mean, back in in 98, we used to have people like Jerome Liberty from PE, people like John Eckert coming to stay at my house. People like not TJ, someone say TJ. Harry Jackson.
Yeah.
You know? Harry Jackson, who was one of the cabinet advisors for Donald Trump. These were people who used to come to my house. I'm talking early 1997, 1996. So that should show you how ahead of his time my father has always been. Way ahead of his time, light years.
With the kind of ministries that we see nowadays.
Exactly.
Like
This was what he's been doing from Nkwakwa, with all the poverty in Nkwakwa, but he was able to get people from overseas to come. So when I experienced that, and then the move to Terano, yes, there was a big difference.
Okay.
You know, it was no longer as charismatic because it was not what was required. It's not a charismatic movement. It was not a Pentecostal church. This was a different type of setup, type of church altogether.
Now, so that's what would mark it. There's the experience in mainly what you can say the gift that you are now seeing being expressed through your dad's ministry, through other people and all those kind of things.
Yes.
That's what would mark that grandeur of.
Yes, I would say that because, I mean, for the first time when Terano started, that's when I saw my dad, for example, perform miracles. Before, it was just, you know, a typical come to church, we pray for you, and you go home, and the word, and you go home. But then when Terano started, that's when I saw a different side to my dad. He was now healing people, miracles now for the first time that I never thought that my dad could do. And yeah, that's I guess that's the difference.
That's the difference.
Yeah.
Had you ever had that conversation with him?
I think I was too young.
Okay.
I think I was too young. And, you know, I think also the way that my dad was let go from his old church really, really hurt him. And then I think it hurt me too, because I think that was the only time in my life I'd ever seen my father get that hurt. That was the only time I'd ever seen my father cry.
Okay.
Was when he tried to introduce Terano, and he was treated in that type of way, even when he wanted to resign from the ministry to say, look, I'm doing something totally new. And the way he was let go, it was painful. It was. I think that's the one memory I have of just watching him cry. But to discuss what he's doing now, I was way too young. I would have never understood it. Yeah.
And so, did you at one point leave? Well, I've had things that you left the church and...
Yeah. So, man, I think it was in the year 2014.
Okay.
When, I heard some, you know, when people, especially, you can attest now.
Yeah.
With how many prophets are out there now.
Okay.
I think that thing started 2013.
Yeah, it became a thing.
It became a thing, like when everyone now had a prophecy, or everyone had a word to give to someone.
Yeah, I like that you can actually spot when it is, and I definitely agree.
Yeah, that was when it started.
Yeah,
in South Africa, when you know, I don't want to say people from outside, but, you know, we have a lot of people that came and, you know, introduced us to a new way of Christianity that we were not used to. You know, we were not, South Africans were never people that
did that,
prophesy, or we were strictly, you know, show tell Bible fellowship, Pastor Musasono, sorry. You know, it was that type of situation. Now suddenly you have people who can now see in the spirit, and now who can tell you, hey, you're going to die. You know,
it became a thing.
It became a thing, you know. So now suddenly we like everyone is mesmerized, and by then, because it was so early in the stages of that, we didn't have what we call discernment.
Because it wasn't built.
It wasn't built. We're just, there are people who can now see in the spirit, oh my goodness, so God is now doing a new thing. But now if you come to me with the same thing now, I'd laugh at you and say, my brother,
chief.
Hey, wait, you understand? So now a pastor comes and says, hey, Tsepo, I hear from, you know, people, hey, you're going to die, you're going to be killed. And obviously you're scared because, I mean, these are men of God, you know? So now you're scared, hey, I'm going to, you know.
Did you know the man?
I'd never met him.
Yo.
I had never ever met him. You know, so hey, then when that whole thing started, then that's when I was, I guess, blessed in a way because it allowed me to see things for myself.
Okay.
You know, to walk away from the church for a bit. Not that the church was guilty, but it was just what I had heard. You know, and that is what kind of caused me to want to do my own thing for a bit.
What did you do? Because you had the music thing. Did you do that in church at Tirano?
I didn't need to because I was doing it outside of Tirano. But yes, I was.
Oh, so you did have, you were expressing your gift outside?
Yes.
Okay.
I was. But I was doing it. I was very involved with Tirano, you know, especially with the youth at the church. You know, we had some amazing conferences that we organized, especially 2012, 2013, 2014. We would fill up arenas, you know, 6,000-7,000 people. And we would lead those type of events, and my dad would trust us with that. So yes, no, I was expressing my gift out of Tirano, but I will say this to you, I loved expressing it through Tirano. I felt more fulfillment, you know, especially doing it under my dad's leadership and seeing him proud, you know, that this is what my children can do or
by themselves
without my interference.
Then when you left, you still continued with expressing your gift, and you found yourself in a different place, or did you go to a different church? You don't have to say which church.
Yes, I did find myself in a different church. I did find myself in a different church, but I wasn't really doing music in that church.
Okay.
I was more on the media side.
Okay.
Yes,
because you had that experience from.
I had that experience from Tirano, and if you remember, if you used to watch Soweto TV or whatever other channel, you'd realize that Tirano's media was top notch.
Yeah.
So I had a very good mentor in there, and my dad, being the perfectionist that he is, you know, he would also, I mean, if you look at his old tapes, he's always had a love and passion for media.
Yeah.
So yes, I took that experience and that perfectionist thing to that other church that I went to.
Yeah, awesome stuff. I did actually at one point speak to one person who actually told me that they used to work in the media.
Yeah.
And they talk about the driving.
Yeah.
The hard driving that you guys go through.
Yeah.
To try and complete a program.
Yeah, no, it's not. My dad doesn't play games. I feel like now he's more calmer. But back then, you can still watch the footage. I'm telling you, there was even something I was saying to him. I was like, there's that DVD, the Durban ICC DVD. That is so timeless that I wish we didn't put the 2012 sign, because
it could still
speak volumes even now. You know, that's how far ahead. Like I'm saying, he was always light years ahead of his peers. Yeah.
And so when you left the church, it was after you had heard this person say this, and then that transitions you. By this time, your mom and dad are still together.
My parents separated literally 11 years before that prophecy came out.
Okay.
So they separated like around 2002, 2001.
So you're still with your dad for the 14th for the.
I'm with him every time, every step of the way. Obviously, I'm just going through my own transitions through school or whatever, but I'm with him since. I've always been Terano ever since it started.
Okay, I thought maybe you guys you left after. Okay, no. I get you now. So
I think it was during the divorce when my mother and my father separated. Obviously, me being a boy, it only made sense that I go to my dad. But I was already in boarding school anyway. So my sister, being a girl, she was not even 10 at the time. She then went with my mother.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was not a case of we are choosing sides. It only made sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And so when you made when you guys you're still together. So when you made that decision to leave, it was on your own.
Yeah. I mean, it was something that I got scared. I'm a kid, I got scared. So I was like, you know what? Let me just try figure out this life thing. But also I felt it was a good time, to just try to see what's out there.
Yeah.
Because I'll tell you one thing. My dad gave us a great life. I won't even lie about.
You don't know what you didn't know what lack was.
I didn't know what lack was. Like since being 8, my dad was already driving BMWs since the age of 8. We were always the only blacks in the neighborhood. That's how much of a hardworking, smart businessman, smart pastor my father was, whatever you want to call him. Because
English
yeah, you know what I mean. Like I went to proper schools, man. Proper schools. The exposure that I've had, like I'm saying, the fact that Springbok players are my peers. If they see me now, they'll come up and say, "Hey, Tepo, how are you doing?" So it's that type of life that we lived. I never lacked for nothing. Yeah.
Did you extend your education after?
Yes, I did. I did events management, purely on the basis of wanting to, organize good and proper events, and we managed to do that. So I did events management. Yes.
So now, if you were to say, okay, my career is this,
I would say media.
Okay.
I would say media, editing, videography, like what we're doing now.
Yeah.
That is one of my biggest passions, and of course the music thing as well. Yeah.
So you made the decision to leave your dad by yourself. Fear crept in, and it's been a couple of years from the time when you left. You had your own journey.
Yes.
For how many years has it been now since 2014 when you left?
It's been about 11 years.
About 11 years.
Yeah, but the thing is, I came back a few other times. I came back, 2 years later, and then I got another opportunity to go, and then I did that, and then, but now this time around, I was already with my wife. I was married with a daughter and a child and a son on the way. So yes, that's when, the issue kind of started then. In the relationship with my dad, but nothing that was out of my control. You know what I mean? But the other journey started when I guess when my wife gave birth to my son, because it's kind of when we had a fallout.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But and then we both saw it best to separate ways, and that's when I guess the difficult journey started. Because now I'm no longer leaving just as Tepo. I'm leaving with 3 other people.
Yeah.
That are depending on me. Yeah.
So that's when did you return?
I left around 2014, returned 2017.
Okay.
And then a year later again. Then yeah.
And so when these podcasts come, when the podcasts of your moms come up and all those kind of things, what's the first time? What is your first time seeing it?
My first reaction was, oh my goodness.
Okay.
Literally. I'm like, this is not going to be good.
Okay.
That's the first thing. I'm like, this is not going to go well for anyone. And the one person, I don't want to make this about me, but I knew that this was going to affect me the most. Because I'm the one living in my dad's house. I'm the one who's staying under his guidance, even though he's somewhere else. And I'm somewhere else, but I'm staying in his house. So that's the first thing. And everyone that watched it was like, so what's going to happen to you? Because what's going to happen?
Yeah, because by this time, there is a bit of a strain on your relationship with your dad.
Already, yes.
And now this comes out.
Exactly.
Your dad might not know whether you
are involved or not. Exactly. That was the biggest pain for me. Was I wish my dad knew that I'm not involved. Because, Ricky, there is no family without issues.
Yeah.
There is no family without issues. And we have to call a spade a spade. People want to hear bad news about famous people.
Yeah.
And my dad is a public figure. You understand? So, of course, this is going to spark interest. There are many people who want his downfall. So when that thing came out, there were times when I couldn't watch it, where I would watch and pause and watch it a day later.
Yes, sir.
You know, because it was so cringe. There was times when I'd be like,
what you gonna say now?
Like, oh, I wish that was not said. Oh, I wish that was not mentioned. And that's the fact, because we don't speak such things about our families. I really think that the reason why I chose your platform is because, like I'm saying, you challenge people on doctrine, which is fine. Doctrine is a perception thing.
Yeah.
You know,
it's an area we can talk about.
It's an area we can talk about and discuss. And, you know, even the Bible says, God says, let us
so
talk.
It's the thing we can talk about.
Let's talk, you know, and show each other maybe you were wrong here and there. But to touch in a family, man, to touch things about my grandmother.
Yes, sir.
Hey man, I love that woman to bits. Even where she's sleeping, I'm like, no, that's my grandmother. To touch people's names specifically, hey man.
I did hear a part about your grand being mentioned.
Our family would not be here if it wasn't for my grandmother.
Yeah,
I promise you, Apostle Simon Mokoena would not be Apostle Simon Mokoena without my grandmother. My grandmother was a warrior. You understand? And I mean, unfortunately, in war, there's always casualties, you know. But when it comes to a family, when it comes to a son, my grandmother made sure. My grandmother made sure. I mean, this is a black woman living in Kwakwa, in the villages, as you have said. But she can still take her son to Rhema Bible Church as a female, as a black woman in 1980-something.
Yeah, that's it.
Living in a village, you understand? To pay fees with other white boys. And this is not with the help of a man. This is by herself. And for some of the things that were said, I was not happy. And I'm saying it boldly. I'm not regretful for saying this. The truth must be said that that lady fought for this family to be where it is today. She fought to raise her child. She fought to feed him. She had trucks. As a black woman, she had trucks. She was a businesswoman, business-minded. And we see where my father gets his intelligence from, whether we like it or not, but it's factual. Yeah.
And so the things that were said out of line, out of pocket.
The things that were said were definitely out of pocket. And also, we should know better. You know? I mean, what's our pilobaka sibujwang? How to man so low
becomes the story.
It becomes the narrative. So we can't say things without proof. Where was that goat that was mentioned? Where was it buried? Where's the proof of that?
Oh yeah.
Just because the neighbor said there's a goat, how do we know all of this? We know life is wrong, and without criticizing anyone, but we know how these things and that becomes the narrative. For Mahaying, for that matter. So to say that I've never seen anything sinister or anything that suggests buloyi at my house, I've never seen anything like that. I've never seen anything that suggests a power that is being used. I've never. It's hearsay. And yes, as a child, we make mistakes and you believe those things. But as you grow up, you're like, but I've never seen, personally, as Mokoena, I've never seen anything like that. I've never seen I lived with her. As a matter of fact, I lived with my grandmother when I was living in Bethlehem in 2014, 2013, 2012. I lived with her for 2 years. I took care of her. That's how me and her became close. I've never seen anything that suggests witchcraft. Ever.
So for that to be mentioned, it touched you a certain, it's like, okay, no, we gotta.
Yeah, because everyone will tell you, it's like this. We're close. So that was my chomi, that was my best friend. And those things that were said on that podcast were so out of pocket. You know, even about the church. I mean, my father took care of us. You know, he did. He did. I was always the one driving the nice cars out of all my friends. And he got to a place where he's like, okay, guys, I've tried my utmost best and I've done.
You gotta have your own.
Take it from here. Can I live my life now? But there were times when my father would leave church. I remember the one time in the type of school I went to a boys' school. Like I'm saying, it produces Springbok players. There were the boys. There was one time when we had an issue with one of the guys there in the school. I got concussed. They hit me, took me to hospital. I woke up in the morning. My father was there. He would leave his church when it came to his children. So most of the things that were said were absolute lies. They were absolute lies. And if I'm lying, God strike me dead now. But they were absolute lies. My father, when he came, my father only let go a bit. Not fully, a bit. When he's like, you in your 20s, guys.
Do it. No.
You understand? I can also live my life. Can also enjoy being, you understand? I've done it for you guys. I've taken you to school. I've done all that there needs to be done. And he's still involved, but not hands-on. But he's still involved. So to hear that my dad was not taking care of us, he was not a good father.
Kicked out. I heard that particular part.
Kicked out because I would do the same thing.
Okay, so the decision that he took, you would have taken the same decision.
Same decision. If my son's my ex-wife comes to me and speaks, and then I feel like even the son is involved, I'd be like, hey man, find your way, because you should have stopped your mom from doing this in the first place.
Wait, so when were you kicked out?
Kicked out is a strong word.
Okay, my bad.
Yeah, kicked out is a strong word. I think just when was the tepo? I think for your safety, because you know, my dad. One of the things was apparently he's got hitmen.
Yeah.
He's like, hey man, I'm scared that I might send my hitman to you. So I think rather
find your own place.
Find your own place for you to be safe, because clearly here you're not safe.
So the interview happened, and then the hitman issue was mentioned, and then it led to him saying, hey dude.
Yeah, this was in January, like, hey dude, I think it's best if you...
Oh, I thought maybe it was like you were thrown out before the interviews came out or anything.
No. In fact, when the interviews came out, I was having a bit of a tough time in Johannesburg. You know, Johannesburg has that thing that it does to us.
Yeah, it will just...
Yeah, where you just feel like, you know what, I need to go home.
Yeah.
And just go home for a few months just to recalibrate and come back.
Feel like a prodigal son.
You understand? So I went home, and guess what? He opened the house. He's like, you can live here, my brother. On conditions 1, 2, 3. I don't want girls coming into my house. I don't want, liquor in my house. Whatever. Us men, sometimes we've got our own things. You know? And then the whole situation now comes out of the podcast. And months later, that's when he was like, hey, look, this is January now. I feel like please rather go. But he had opened his house. He had made sure that I've got a place to stay. So in terms of him being hard on me as a man, yes. I mean, in Joburg, you are used to paying rent. Right now, I'm opening a house for you to stay for free. I can't do everything for you, my guy.
Isa.
That's any man.
Yeah.
I would have done the exact same thing to my son.
So it unfortunately left you now having to figure out where am I going from here, even though, because he didn't know
Yeah.
whether you were involved. And I did kind of get the same thing
Yeah.
when I spoke to him the first time.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know, are they involved? Are the kids involved? Are they giving information about these things? Or where do they stand behind all of this information?
Look, I would say to you, I was not involved at all. And that's why throughout all of it, I was very cringy.
Yeah.
And I said, like, this whole thing is going to not go well, especially for me. So no, I was not involved personally. I can't speak for my little sister, but personally, because I was in Bethlehem at that time.
Yeah.
But luckily, what had happened was when I left Johannesburg, I think the only reason why my dad even made the decision for him to say, rather leave, is because he knew that I still have a place here in Johannesburg that I left, where my mother was staying. So he was comfortable to say, rather go back there.
Okay.
But he would have not left me in the streets.
Okay, yeah.
You understand? The decision to say, go back or leave, quote unquote, is because he knows that I've got a place to stay.
Okay.
But if he knew that from here, Tebo doesn't know where he's going to go, then he would have never done it in such a harsh way.
Because I know he was with the kids.
I know.
Around that period.
My kids.
Yes.
Yes.
And I don't know, was it a birthday or?
It was Christmas. It was Christmas. So when Christmas time came, I left. When I saw them coming to the house, because I was staying at the family home, I ran because I'm like, I don't know how he's going to. This podcast is happening. It's hot. My brother. And I'm like, hey, me, I'm out. I'm running because it's Christmas. I don't want tension. I don't know how everyone in the family is going to look at me.
Is that?
Because they might think, well, I'm involved.
The whole family gathering.
Family gathering comes now, you know. So the first thing when I saw them, like, hey, they're here for Christmas. Checked. I stayed at another cousin's house somewhere. And then that's when he's like, oh, plus when I come home, you don't want to face me. So, you know, but which is a man thing.
Yeah.
We are men.
You understood.
I understood deep down. I was like, he's a man. You know, yeah.
So this is the kind of things that this particular podcast coming out.
Yeah.
Or those discussions or the things that were being said there.
Yeah.
Kind of like erupted in your relationship.
Exactly.
So let's acknowledge that it's the effects of what was said there. It's not.
Yeah, definitely.
It's not like he was being heartless and just
no. And I think Mr. Ricky, to be honest, we're gonna need a part 2 of this.
Yeah, definitely.
Because we've got a lot to discuss, especially because we've just touched on the. But yes, it was what was said.
Yeah, that led to
everything going down the way that it did. It was what was said. It was all the mockery, man. The insults. You know, it was too much. Yeah.
How it offsets, how it offset your relationship, and now you having to make decisions haphazardly because of something you were not involved in, something you didn't control, something you didn't have a comment in, coming from this podcast.
Sure.
And so, it's sad to hear. We're gonna have to do a part 2, where Tsepo can get into the other details of the other things and stuff like that, and maybe we might be in a different setting and stuff like that. But before we close off, leadership.
Yes, sir.
What are your thoughts on the interviews and everything that is being said on that was said on Khoshilet's Unconcerning?
Look, I'll be very frank with you. You know, sometimes it makes it very difficult when we saying so we are this and this, what. You know, I don't know what the slogan is, but you know what I'm talking about. And then you don't show family values.
Okay.
Because as a family man, you should understand, like, hey, what am I doing to this family? You know, that's why I said the reason why I respect you is because you are coming with doctrine. which is a discussion that can be had. It's not going against anyone, but to come against a family, not caring just for views, and coming and speaking about family issues as sensitive as a person's grandmother, a person's mother, for that sake. That's his mother, Mr. Ricky. That time, he's the one who's even taking care of my kids now as we speak. My kids right now, I've not been okay financially. My kids right now are being fed by him. So when you coming after a man like that, what are you saying? If he decides now, I'm done with your kids, the fact that after everything, he's still continuing.
That offsets now your
You understand?
your children's well-being. We're talking about
Exactly.
His grandkids.
Exactly. If he decides I'm not doing this anymore, who suffers? So I feel like that podcast was not well thought through. It was just something done emotionally. It was not something that was thought right through. That if we speak like this, if this man decides I'm done,
Then what?
then what happens to my kids? What happens to those two souls? You understand? So there's a lot about this thing that we still need to debunk.
Yeah.
You know.
No. Then definitely on part 2, then we'll then get into the other areas which you want to touch on and stuff like that. So guys, this platform, Church Reality, my goal is that this conversation, we can't have one-way conversations. You know, it can't be like, oh, this is final. We must be willing to have that conversation. If you can say this about someone, that person must be able to come and talk to you concerning that thing and disagree and have. I think that's what you see within the book of Acts. In the book of Acts, as Paul sees Peter behaving otherwise, and he calls him aside and says, brother, this thing, your view to want to take the sides of the Jews is taking, and it's affecting you here. It's something we can have a conversation. But if it's something where I'm just casting a label over you, where does that end up? On the next part, Brother Sepo will then lead us to which particular other areas he wants to talk about, what does he want to debunk, and all those things. Without further ado, it's Ricky, Leadership.
Thank you so much, Leadership, for having me on a platform. It was a great honor talking to you, and I hope this does set some clarity on a lot of the issues that we discussed here, especially with concerning Apostle Simon Mokoena and the man that he is. I would definitely love to have a part 2, so we can break it down even further. And go into more detail about this. So thank you so much for your time, sir. I appreciate you.
Awesome stuff. So from me, Ricky, I'll see you guys on the later on episode. As we always say, we don't call it reality check for no reason. The reality must be checked. And this one had to. It's Ricky. I'll see you on the later on. You'll have a blessed